Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is all about preparation on a real chessboard with no digital interface. So now you are able to understand the Ruy López, the Berlin Rio Gambit Accepted by following a 50-move line of a strong preparation. Let's jump right into it. And white opens with the king's pawn, controlling these beautiful squares f5 and d5 squares, and opens up this long diagonal to the bishop. And black goes pawn to e5, contesting the center immediately, is one of the most solid response. Knight f3 develops the knight towards the center and attacks the e5 pawn that is hanging. And black also brings the knight out and defends the pawn on e5. Here comes the bishop to b5, the characteristic move of the Ruy López, puts pressure on the knight on c6. And black plays knight f6, attacking the hanging pawn on e4. On this line, black doesn't go for pawn to a6, kicking away the bishop. White castles it out, and a good move for white next is play rook e1, defending the pawn on e4. And black doesn't waste any time and captures the pawn on e4 and places the knight in the middle of the board. In the other hand, is weakening his king safety on this long file. Rook e1, a good move for white, activates the rook and attacks the knight on e4, and also keep an eye on the black king. But black knows what he's doing and retreats the knight to d6, also attacking the bishop on b5. A good move for white here is to capture the pawn on e5, which then threatens the knight on c6. We then discover a check to the black king, winning the black queen at the same time. This is all well-known theory, guys, already played out hundreds of times before. And black knows how to deal with it and plays bishop e7, stopping all the threats, and also keeps the pressure on the bishop on b5. And white decides to put this bishop on f1. This move puts the bishop on a good square. The other options could result in attacks on the white's bishop. Knight takes knight on e5. Black is starting to solve his structure in front of his queen by staying active at the same time, forcing the white's rook to the center of the board, weakening the rook and then bringing the pieces out and threatening the white's rook at the same time, winning tempos. Black castles it out, and white should start to think about to bringing his pieces out on his queen side. And white plays pawn to d4. This opens this beautiful diagonal so the white's bishop can develop. Bishop f6. This wins time by threatening a rook and forcing it to move back. As I said before, winning tempo. A good way to go for white next move is to play c3, defends the pawn on d4, and then bring the bishop out to f4. And black goes rook to e8. This threatens to win the pawn on d4. Starting to taking the rook on e1, queen takes rook, then the bishop can take the free pawn on d4. That's why white just played c3. c3 is a must, building up a good pawn structure. But black goes to exchange the rooks anyway, because this makes the white queen to move to a worse square, away from these beautiful diagonals, staying less active, I would say. Now a good plan for black is to remove away the knight from d6 to a safe square, then playing pawn d4 makes way to the light square bishop to finish his own development. And black just played knight e8, maneuvering his knight, and starts out the plan. Now white needs to do something about his pieces on his queen side. And white puts his bishop on this beautiful diagonal, fighting for set of squares, and also this weak pawn on c7. And black just continues the plan. Pawn to d5 makes way to the bishop and also contesting the center. The e4 and c4 squares knight to d2. White developed the knight towards the center, develops his last piece to the middle game. And the black also develops his bishop to f5, fighting for important squares on the center, especially the e4 square. Queen to e3, activating the queen this way, maybe attacking the black king from here, or simply piling up on the e file with the rook. This was a training, instructive and educational content that allows you to learn how to play this strong preparation. By following a 50-move line, you stay focused on that variation from start to finish, avoiding getting lost in excessive nuances. So you reach the end of this line with greater clarity. This preparation is very accurate because most of the moves are theory, the well-known moves played hundreds of times before, and then a few moves suggested by the computer. This content is important to you, not only to know the moves of this variant and memorize them, but to understand the line and the ideas behind. So the challenge for you to learn and improve is this great opportunity to follow these 4 steps. Comment your thoughts below. Suggest a new opening for me to do another strong preparation for you. Oh, and just subscribe to be part of this community. There is a lot of high quality preparation coming your way. A huge and sincere thank you to you.